that kind of.
Okay, here we go.
Start rolling
for your station.
Here we go.
Jennifer? Good morning. My name is attorney Lisa Bloom, and I am representing Chloe Perez Rios, Fernanda Celery, Jennifer Bianchi, and Jorge Armando Diaz. And we have some statements. The first statement will be from Chloe. Chloe, go right ahead.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Chloe. I am an advocate and a voice of the Latino transgender community in Los Angeles. For the past few years, I have been working toward empowering the transgender community by providing referrals to medical and social services, addressing the safety and strengthening the relationship between the community and LAPD in Los Angeles, as well as addressing other community needs. On August 23rd, a group of coworkers and myself worked at a booth at the Downtown LA Pride Festival. After a long day of working hard there, we migrated to the bar Las Perlas, a popular bar owned and operated by Pouring with Heart LLC. Las Perlas is located a few blocks away from Pershing Square, where Downtown LA Pride Festival was then taking place, and nearly adjacent to one of Los Angeles' most prominent gay bars, Red Line. Given its proximity to the festival and Red Line, Las Perlas should have been a safe place for my coworkers and I to safely unwind and relax. But what happened at Las Perlas that night was anything but safe or relaxing. Shortly after we arrived at Las Perlas, a transphobic man and woman at the bar, both of whom were very intoxicated, proceeded to hurl transphobic slurs at us, accusing my coworkers and I of being men, and calling us all faggots. They escalated their harassment from words to physical violence when they attempted to attack Fernanda. When we tried to intervene to prevent injury to Fernanda, the transphobic couple only became more violent. The female aggressor threw punches at me, and while she missed a few times, she did scratch one of my arms. The couple then threatened our lives by saying, "I'm going to come back and kill you all, faggots." After we complained to management, the transphobic couple was asked to leave, and they were all allowed to leave without security dragging, forcing, or choking them. We were not so lucky. Next, and without any provocation, security began to forcibly and violently remove my coworkers and I. As I witnessed this in shock and horror, I began recording my coworkers being physically assaulted, choked, and dragged out of the bar. As I was being grabbed by my arm and neck and then flung out of Las Perlas and stumbled down the stairs, I witnessed a wall of security personnel blocking the stairs and trapping us outside with the perpetrator, who threw a heavy metal object at a gate separating him from my colleague Jorge, as he repeated that he was going to come back with his gun from the car and kill us. The conduct of Las Perlas guards and management serves as a painful reminder that the LGBTQ plus community, and specifically the transgender community, live in a society that sees us as disposable and unworthy of protection. Transgender people in the United States face high rates of fatal violence. From 2013 to 2018, advocates tracked the murders of at least 128 transgender people. As many crimes are not reported and many victims are not reported as transgender, we know the real numbers are much higher. Among the transgender people murdered in 2018, 82% of them were women of color. Fernanda, Jennifer, or myself could have been one more statistic that night. I want to remind Las Perlas and the city of LA that forcibly retaliating against transgender women who are trying to avoid being victimized by transphobic bar patrons is wrong. The change we demand to make our communities safe will not happen with one training at one specific bar. Pouring with heart, you will not make a difference partnering up with one specific organization to provide training. We demand Pouring with Heart focuses on the bigger issue. And number one, involve advocates and victims to work together on a sensitive training across all bars owned by Pouring with Heart LA and in other places. Number two, hire people of transgender experience across all establishments and provide them with the necessary training on LGBTQ issues. And number three, we demand a public and genuine apology to us and the entire LGBTQ plus community, and acknowledge that Pouring with Heart completely failed, as well as to explain how you will take our recommendations and improve the safety of all patrons across all establishments in the future. The safety of our community is our priority, and we ask them to join us in making their priority too. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Chloe. Fernanda, this is Fernanda Celery. Okay, go ahead.
Muchas gracias por estar aquí. Mi nombre es Fernanda Celery. Soy una joven transgénero que se siente agredida, discriminada y menospreciada por el trato recibido en el restaurante Bar Las Perlas. Y yo siento que mi derecho de libertad ha sido flagelado. Y por eso estoy aquí. No por mí, sino porque mi comunidad transgénero está dañada y molesta. Y yo siento que si por el resto de la historia las mujeres biológicas han luchado por tener los mismos derechos que los hombres, creo que es hora de decirle a la sociedad que nosotros las mujeres transgéneros somos personas humanas y también tenemos los mismos derechos igualitarios. Gracias.
Muchas gracias, Fernanda.
Fernanda, your last name is
Un momentito, por favor. So, did you want to read the Spanish? Chloe's also going to read a portion in Spanish. We have a few more statements.
Mi nombre es Chloe Ríos y soy una mujer transgénero dedicada al trabajo social y al activismo relacionado con la comunidad LGBTQ+, aquí en Los Ángeles. El 23 de agosto, mis compañeros y yo decidimos ir a relajarnos al bar Las Perlas. Pero lo que sucedió en Las Perlas esa noche fue todo menos seguro o relajante. Un hombre y una mujer transfóbicos en el bar, ambos muy intoxicados, nos lanzaron insultos transfóbicos acusándonos a mis compañeros de trabajo y a mí de ser hombres y nos llamaron a todos maricones. Sus acosos se intensificaron de palabras a violencia física cuando intentaron atacar a Fernanda. Cuando tratamos de intervenir para evitar lesiones a Fernanda, la pareja transfóbica solo se volvió más violenta. La agresora me lanzó golpes y aunque falló varias veces, sí me rascó algunos de mis brazos. La pareja luego amenazó nuestras vidas diciendo que volvería y nos mataría porque somos maricones. Después de que nos quejamos con la gerencia, la pareja transfóbica se les permitió irse sin que la seguridad los arrastrara o usara fuerza física excesiva. Nosotros no tuvimos tanta suerte. Sin ninguna provocación, la seguridad comenzó a remover a la fuerza y violentamente a mis compañeros de trabajo y a mí. Al presenciar esto y en estado de shock, comencé a grabar con mi teléfono celular a mis compañeros de trabajo siendo agredidos, estrangulados y arrastrados. Mientras que me agarraban del brazo y del cuello y luego me aventaron fuera de Las Perlas, Casi cayéndome de las escaleras, vi un muro de personal de seguridad bloqueando las escaleras y atrapándonos afuera con el perpetrador, quien arrojó un objeto de metal pesado contra la puerta que separaba a mi colega Jorge y repetía que iba a sacar su arma de su auto y que vendría a matarnos. Quiero recordarle a las Perlas y a la ciudad de Los Ángeles que está mal tomar represalias por la fuerza contra las mujeres transgénero que están tratando de evitar ser víctimas de clientes de bares transfóbicos. Le exigimos a Pouring with Heart que, número 1, involucre a defensores y víctimas para que trabajen juntos en una capacitación sensible en todos los bares de Pouring with Heart en Los Ángeles y en otros lugares. Número 2, que contraten a personas con experiencia transgénero en todos los establecimientos y brindarles la capacitación necesaria sobre temas sobre la comunidad LGBTQ+. Número 3, que nos pidan una disculpa pública y genuinamente a todos nosotros y a toda la comunidad LGBTQ+, y que reconozcan que Pouring with Heart falló por completo. Además, exigimos una explicación de cómo tomarán nuestras recomendaciones y mejorar la seguridad de todos los clientes en todos los establecimientos aquí en Los Ángeles en el futuro. La seguridad de nuestra comunidad es nuestra prioridad y les pedimos que se unan a nosotros para que también sea su prioridad. Gracias.
And Jorge Armando Diaz is next.
Good morning. My name is Jorge Diaz. Thank you for being here. What occurred 2 weeks ago at Las Perlas was more than an unfortunate situation. We went to Las Perlas to celebrate our identities as brown and LGBTQ people. We were there after a long day of celebrating Downtown LA Pride. We held a moment of silence to honor our trans sisters who've lost their lives in the hands of hate and violence. An hour later, we ourselves would be victims of discrimination and hate and violence. After the male-female couple harassed and threatened us at Las Perlas, I asked management numerous times to call 911, but they failed to do so. I asked them numerous times not to remove us from their establishment, but they failed to listen. Their policy is to remove everyone from any incident. Will that policy put our lives in danger? There was a moment when the aggressor threatened to re-enter the restaurant and shoot me. In a time when mass shootings seem to be the new normal, and when LGBT hate crimes are at epidemic levels, I believed him. The security management team chose to stand by their unfair policy rather than our rights and our safety. The video shows excessive force used against us. And this video triggered the entire LGBT community, and it reminded all of us of our unsafe reality. Las Perlas and its owners need to change their policy. If a policy fails to protect us simply because of our LGBT identity, then that establishment and their policy should have no space in our community. And finally, the CEO owes me and the gay community a public apology for the way their management and security team treated me. No one should ever be treated in such an inhumane way. No one.
Thank you, Jorge. Jennifer? This is Jennifer Bianchi.
First of all, I would like to thank you for being here. And I will also would like to honor the LGBTQ brothers and sisters that are no longer here with us, who were victims of hate crime. I was a victim of a hate crime at Las Perlas Bar a few weeks ago, where not only was I discriminated because I was a trans woman, but also I was put in a dangerous situation when an identified couple disrespected me verbally, threatened my life, physically attacked my peers, even though I was a paying customer at Las Perlas, minding my business. I was not bothering anyone, Las Perlas failed to protect me and my peers. Instead, the bar security used excessive force when they put their hands on me, locked my arms behind my back, and tossed me into the street as if I committed a crime, when in fact I was a victim. In addition to those who threw me out on the streets, where the aggressor who threatened to kill us was waiting, this horrifying experience was humiliating, physically damaging, and emotionally traumatizing. Today I stand before you to ask the LGBT community and all communities to support us, to accept each other, to stand as one to demand respect. We are not perfect, but we can align our energies to work together. I would like Seth Moss, CEO of Pouring with Hearts, to be held accountable for his employees' ignorance and savage actions. I want this company, as well as others companies across the nation, to learn from this mistreatment, and to respect the LGBTQ plus community. Finally, I would like America to acknowledge all transgender people have the same rights as anyone else. We are not asking to be treated differently, only to be treated equally, the same as you. Thank you. Can I say it in Spanish?
Sure.
Gracias por estar aquí. Quiero honorar los LGBT, mis hermanos y hermanas que no están aquí con nosotros, que fueron víctimas de odio, crímenes de odio. Fui una víctima en Las Perlas en bar hace unas semanas, donde no solamente fui discriminada, pero también por ser transgénero, pero también me pusieron mi vida en una situación muy difícil. Era otro cliente más pagando en ese establecimiento. No estaba molestando a nadie, estaba disfrutando de un día después de trabajo. Las Perlas, cuando unas personas que no se identifican, no sabemos dónde están, nos atacaron verbalmente, físicamente, y el bar no hizo nada. En vez de protegerme, me sacaron con fuerza excesiva, me sacaron a la calle como que hubiera cometido un crimen. Toda esta experiencia fue traumatizante, pero hoy también quiero pedirle al dueño, al CEO de Pouring with Hearts, quiero pedirle que se haga justicia por sus empleados que ignorantemente nos trataron y nos cambiaron la vida traumatizantemente. Gracias.
Gracias. Good morning. I am attorney Lisa Bloom, and I'm very proud to represent Fernanda, Jennifer, Chloe, and Jorge. I want to start by showing you the video that Chloe made that is just a part of this incident, where my clients were physically accosted and then forcibly removed from Las Perlas simply because they had reported transphobic hate speech, death threats, and acts of violence against them there that night. Let's step back a little bit so people can see it. Sure. Did you hit the lights? Good idea.
Thank you.
Don't touch me like that. Don't touch me like that. I need my shoe. Don't touch me. I need my shoe. Can I get my shoe? I got it, girl. I got it.
Violence against the LGBTQ community is at appalling levels. Just this year alone, 18 transgender women in the U.S. have been murdered. When we started this case just a few weeks ago, that number was 15. We have to check every day to see if that number has gone up, and often it has. Here are the images of just some of the transgender women in the U.S. who have been murdered in recent years. Gay Americans, too, are often the victims of violence. According to the FBI, there are almost 700 incidents of hate crimes against gay people annually, and those numbers are clearly much lower than the reality because so many are not reported. The American Medical Association calls attacks against trans people an epidemic, and nearly all of those attacks on trans people are against trans women of color, just like Jennifer, Chloe, and Fernanda. Trans women have to walk through their fear every day just to live their lives, to go to work, to go out with their friends, or to walk the streets, even after a pride festival. According to GLAAD, in America, trans women of color have a life expectancy of 35 years. Cisgendered people who are not trans, can expect a long life of 78 years. I would like to tell Chloe, Fernanda, and Jennifer not to live in fear. I would like to tell them that they are full and equal citizens, but I can't, because every day our trans sisters and brothers are killed just for living their true, authentic selves. And just like in this incident, violence against trans people usually starts with ugly, hateful words, and then it progresses to threats and then violence. So each of us must take these words, the words that you heard in the video, the words that you've heard described today, seriously, because words are so often the first step toward punches, chokings, beatings, and shootings. And our failure to stop transphobic words could literally mean the difference between life and death for one of our trans friends. These ladies and this man avoided a tragedy this time. Chloe, Fernanda, Jennifer, and Jorge did the right thing by first asking the male-female couple to stop, and when that failed, reporting them to security. Security then asked the couple to leave, which was also the right thing. At that point, everything should have gone back to normal. Jorge and these ladies should have resumed their evening at Las Perlas. But that's when things got worse, much worse. Dangerous both sides-ism set in, and security accosted and forced them out as well. So apparently the restaurant's policy was to treat everyone involved in an incident as guilty. Both sides-ism is the lazy and false belief that everyone is equally at fault, even when hateful slurs, threats, and violence are used, victimizing just one side. We've heard it before, when we heard that there were very fine people on both sides in a racist, violent protest in Charlottesville. Businesses must reject both sides-ism and stand up for victims. It's not just a good idea, it is the law. California law strongly protects the rights of trans, gender nonconforming, LGBTQ, and other members of the queer community to go into any business establishment in this state and enjoy their services just like anybody else. Today, we are demanding the following action, and if we don't get it, we intend to file a lawsuit to protect our clients' rights. 1, we demand that Las Perlas and the security company issue a full and proper apology to Jennifer, Jorge, Fernanda, and Chloe, and a public retraction of their statement that they did not do anything wrong. 2, we ask that Las Perlas and the security company immediately institute comprehensive LGBTQ sensitivity training across their locations, especially because they plan to open a new location in West Hollywood. We would like to be part of that training. 3, meet with us about compensating our clients for their medical bills, their therapy bills, lost wages, and the pain and suffering that you can see on their faces today. Fernanda, Jennifer, Chloe, and Jorge could have been the next statistic. Thank God they are still here to bravely stand up for their rights so this does not happen to anyone else. Thank you.
Can we ask some questions, please? Thank you.